Hey everybody, welcome. Just spent the last few minutes planning out the team, trying to use as many characters that I built as possible, because this is one of those places where it's fun to be indulgent. Yeah, let's see. So far, got my three kids, and then Mojo, pardon me, and then Void. Now, my question on Void is, do I want to use Leader instead? That seems like it would be. Hey, Callum, thanks so much for being a consistent member. I appreciate you. I think Carl versus Tigra would be fun enough that maybe I do want to use Leader, which is funny because I literally took Void to rank 4 before this stream. But that's not a rank up I'll regret. Take care, Brian. Talk to you soon. Yeah, and I think I want to do this. Okay. That means these will be... Hmm. No, it's okay. I'll leave that one in. Yeah, we'll do this team. Hey, Snoops, how's it going? Thanks, Bontas. Yeah, I'm trying to be good about it. It will probably slow down a little bit after this week. This week is kind of a high water mark. But that's because I need to get these challenges done. Alright, let's get rolling. Welcome, Naruto. Okay, first up. Probably just going Thanos. Definitely a few we can do. Although, before we get rolling, let's try Carl, because that sounds fun as well. Hey, Bart. Yeah, okay. So it is seeming like it is only during the hits, so that's fine. We'll just restart. But that's what I wanted to see. Although, starting to ramp Mojo here might be worth it too. So he doesn't go unblockable. Let's see if we can do this. Hey, WJ, welcome. I appreciate it. charge. I don't think this is gonna work. That's fine. Yeah. Oh, right, because we need to keep the buffs on him, right? Is that the issue I'm running into? Yeah. That's okay. Honestly, I don't mind taking a while here because ramping Mojo is worth it. We'll see how this goes. Use you. You did not touch me with that, sir. Tags generally do not change with reworks unless we're doing something like adding a new one, like we did with Midnight Suns. Whoops! Wrong button. That hurts. Okay. Yeah, playing with the inflated ego isn't quite worth it. That's okay. And yes, he is still a dimensional being to answer directly. I'm not accepting that in the very beginning of this. Don't start with me today, Teddy. I don't need any of those side steps. Yeah, it's kind of a weird fight with the villain, and the irony is a lot of villains go unblockable during their specials. It's kind of worked out that way. Alright, I'm just going straight to the special 3. What is with his hitboxes today? I was quite sure I was far enough away. Okay, you know what? I think Sim had the right idea. This has been annoying enough. I'm just gonna use Void and turn him off. Daddy, thank you. That's fine. I'll save myself. You are seriously misbehaving, young man. Hey, Jason, how's it going, man? I'm taking my sweet time against this very annoying Hulkling. Nah, Bullseye for offense is good, for sure. Just not sure that he would have helped me much outside of this fight. Okay, not worth throwing the special to, even though it does more damage. That's what I wanted to test. That's fine. And then I was just fully reading chat, so of course I got hit after that special. Okay, one more. And change, apparently. Yeah. Like Jason said, those are 100% mine. Like bluntly, they don't have enough broad appeal um to be part of any kind of official marketing thing. And their production values aren't high enough, right? I'm mostly just speaking over text. If we wanted those to reflect the company overall, there'd be a lot more going on, right? Like, I very much appreciate all of you that watch them. I love the following that they have, but I also know that, like, if you watch those videos, you have an above average attention span. Yeah, there's something I just do on the side. Nice, Wei. Yeah, Spidey 2099 is great. Jason over here on the YouTube side has 2 rank 5 versions of him. Yep, I was betting on that being a little. Alright, let's take bets. Where do you think the Petrifies are coming in? Alright. 4th and 5th? 4th and 6th? Looks like 4th and 6th. Yep, that's about right. I didn't think I was close enough. That stinks. Alright. Does he have Adam and Axiom here? No, he's just been lucky. Cool. We love when the defender is consistently lucky. That's awesome. Yeah, like, seriously, am I missing something? Why is he consistently getting the unstoppable through all... Oh, right, because they're agilities and not decelerates. Never mind. I convinced myself that what Sim wants for Void actually happened. No! Oh, snap lights. Thanks, ASAP. I really appreciate that. I have always enjoyed teaching in one way or another. Yeah, I was a test prep tutor. I tutored in high school. I liked teaching private lessons and master classes when trombone was my main thing. Yeah, I like teaching. I don't agree with that at all, Erisham. It's just like not the point of the character. I mean, in fairness, Snoops, there's also different kinds of teaching, right? Like, I think I'm pretty darn good with a motivated audience. Like, with people who already want to learn. It's why I liked private lessons so much. Whoops, that was my fault. Because basically, by definition, anyone taking private lessons has paid to tell you that they care. But, like, my brother's a middle school choir director. We have at least one former public school teacher in the chat. Like, I know that's not something I can. So one of the things to remember is just that, yeah, teaching is a collection of skills. And part of being good at it, in my opinion, is finding the parts of it that you are good at. Which sounds like a truism, but I think you know what I mean. Oh, that sucks. Yep, that was my fault. Ah, he got too close too quick. All right. Played that much better. Okay, we're gonna have to let the vigor fall off. It's gonna be somewhat difficult. That's unfortunate. Yeah, especially when I mess it up twice. Okay, hold on. I need to play this differently. Because it is fine, but the Thor Relic's Vigor really adds a problem. We just let it go at the beginning. Alright, now we're... Oh, right. Can't throw the striker either. Okay. That's fine. This is still doable. Probably going to be mostly special 3, killing in between the power gains. Wait, why did we gain the vigor again? We didn't have... Oh, Oh, it's any aptitude. So okay, this is gonna be tough. I may have to redo those first two. Yeah. The relic causing problems here. That's interesting, because we're getting credit for the special 3 doing no damage. Okay, well, this was a mistake. Alright. Okay, yeah, so let me explain that one. So, it is possible for Serpent to have less than 3 unique buffs, right? He always has his Fury. He always has his True Focus from his specials. But the power gain is intermittent. And so if it's just the power gain, basically you have 50% uptime on doing damage. That's enough. That's worth ramping him. He's good enough for the fight otherwise. The problem is that when you gain a Fury buff, the Thor relic, which in my opinion is the best relic for Serpent, gives you a vigor buff. As long as it is an indefinite Fury, which Serpent's is. And then if at any point in the fight you throw the... and then the vigor refreshes whenever you gain another buff. So you can wait for the vigor to fall off, but then the problem is, if at any point in the fight you throw the striker and gain an aptitude, and then you dex and gain an indefinite precision while that aptitude is still up, then you gain an aptitude passive, and then Serpent Special 3 will reactivate the Fury because it's trying to get credit for the aptitude every time you throw the Special 3. And so then that brings the vigor back and you're at 3 or more unique buffs again. And at that point, you can't really let the vigor fall off. Because you're doing no damage, and so the special 3 is giving you 2 bars of power back. So the relic that normally works in his favor just made the fight fall apart. I saw somebody else on the list used Serpent, but they must have had like a stat cast on him or something, and then it would have been fine. I think one of my obstacles as well is that I can be monotone. I have a pretty bad case of resting. Dude, you and me both on the face. It is definitely a practice thing. My biggest piece of advice for anything like that is to just record yourself, right? It's the same thing as with music. If you record yourself speaking, you will start hearing things that you can fix. And fair warning, if you haven't done it before, there's a decent chance it's going to be crippling at first, because you're going to be like, oh my god, I sound like that? For anyone who doesn't know, when you hear yourself speak, you are getting a deeper, richer sound than everyone else does, because your voice conducts through the bones in your face up to your ears, and so you get more lower fundamentals. Harmonics, that's the word. And that doesn't mean that you have a shrill voice. It doesn't mean your outer voice stinks. It's just that you aren't used to it. And that's the biggest thing. And so you kind of have to get over that, and then you will start noticing things like, oh, I say too much. I say like too much. I need to start training myself that when I feel like saying one of those things, I should probably just be silent instead, because that tends to have a better effect. You start hearing that, oh, that word I thought I was emphasizing, underlining, I actually didn't emphasize it all that much, right? It's kind of the equivalent of stage makeup, where if you're up close next to somebody who's in like a musical, their makeup looks insane. It looks incredibly unrealistic because the point is not to look good 3 feet away, it's to look good 300 feet away, right? I remember being told the exact same thing when I was playing trombone all the time. It's like, however much you think you were emoting in that spot, you weren't. And so you have to go bigger. And it's the same thing with speaking. If you want inflection, if you want people to hang on to your words, you kind of need to practice going bigger and bigger if it doesn't come naturally to you. But it is very much something that you can learn. The other thing to practice is to try and plan ahead a little bit what you're going to say, which is very much easier said than done. But when I do those videos, they are normally in a single edited take. I don't use a script. And the way I got comfortable with that was to just speak a lot in a pretty much unbroken paragraph. And as you do that, you get more and more used to tying things together, if that makes sense. How do I get less of a southern drawl? There are definitely ways to coach that as well. But that one's tricky. The answer is probably mainly just be around other people who don't have it. Oh no! That's so rude. He waited for my grip to run out. Okay, that one was my fault. Hopefully that counted. Nope, it did not. Alright, well, I'm dead. Him waiting out that first one was really rough. Okay, well, this run is off to an absolutely fantastic start. I am crushing it. He's just rerunning my stream. I appreciate the solidarity. No! And he's gonna heavy and I'm dead. It doesn't even matter if he heavies or not. Oh, that was so annoying. Buddy, thank you. Oh, shoot. Yep. No way out of that one. Once you miss that special one, I already got lucky once. That's why I don't play Coliseum, because we need our rewards right away. Oh, man. Have I got news for you about, like, every Alliance game mode? All of the AQ variants reset on Monday. It's not new. Nope. Okay. Man. I'm in rare form today. Why am I going early? I've been doing this for... God, I have dealt with this dude's special one for so many years. Nope. EQ is always Wednesday. You might be right, but I think it's just my fault. I don't think it's a frames per second thing. Like, it might be slightly different in 60 frames per second, sure, but I think this is just me stinking it up. Yeah. What are the biggest roadblock fights to plan for in the villain challenge? As evidenced by this stream, the ones that you play poorly. God. Ugh. To be slightly more serious, the Idum I just fought, the Adam later on, I think just those two, are are the ones where you can literally do no damage at all if you bring the wrong team. So make sure that you have the ability to control how many buffs you have. A lot of them can technically be done by anyone, but there are definitely some tougher ones. I think. I'd say that Mole Man is one you need to plan for. You need to have some ability to put debuffs on, like damaging effects on him, not necessarily debuffs during his specials. North Star wants you to have a either a miss counter, mainly just a miss counter, or somebody who's really comfortable throwing special threes as you dash into his block. Those are kind of the big ones. Like, pretty much everyone else can be eventually done by anyone, but you also want somebody who can do Absorbing Man decently efficiently, but he is early. Ah, okay. Not what I meant to do. Terrible time to get something in my eye. I mean, you should want a Mojo in general. That's not new. I do work for Kabam, yes. Oops. Ouch. How did that put a Daunted on? Are you serious? I don't even know who blocked who. Sorry, who blocked whom? Hey, it worked. Very cool. Very cool. Yep. Alright, we'll start over. That's fine. Y'all need to read your mail, okay? If it really matters to you that much... I'm sorry, I'm getting a little pointed because I'm also not playing well. But, like, if EQ ending early is the kind of thing that makes you angry, it is probably a good idea for you to read the mail because that's what's going to tell you that EQ ends early. There was a message on it. Was Serpent Special 3 animation inspired by Omni-Man? No. When When did the first season of Invincible even come out? I guess it was out, but I don't think I'd watched any of it. In which case, I suppose it's possible that the animator was inspired by it, but it wasn't on my radar. Who's angry? Okay, whatever emotion you were hoping to convey with double question marks. I don't really care about getting technical there. Buddy. Why? Why are they being this rude? Hmm. All right. You don't need to stay here. If all you're gonna do here is like quibble over the degree of your emphasis and ask me questions that you could have read in the mail, there are other streamers. Timeout's fine. Probably a kid. It's okay. Whoops, that was dumb. Yeah, I'm with you there, Snoops. I like the rich family stories. It's good stuff. As long as it's actually complex and not just sad, you know? Oops. I saw the crush there at the last second. Alright. It's amazing how much easier the fight is when he doesn't refuse to throw a special and chase you into the wall. Welcome. Good thing these two chats aren't combined. That's okay. I mean, I'm trying to combine them as much as possible, but, like, yeah, in some ways the limiter between them can help you out. Yeah, I was on the stream last November. Sorry, I'm parsing out where the implied space is in your name, I guess, Idali. But yeah, because that's the only time I've been on a live stream, because I don't live in Vancouver, so I'm not there for most of them. But yeah, I was there to talk about Paviter. Yep, that's a ban. Okay, I actually want to crowdsource here real quick, since apparently this just really gets under some people's skin. Do you normally ask questions with 2 question marks? That's for emphasis, right? Like, if I texted my wife, "Where's dinner?" with 2 question marks, I would need a pretty good follow-up to not be in trouble. Is that not universal? Hey, Jency, how's it going, man? Told me new drops are here, but I've watched like 2 hours, haven't gotten any drops yet. So I don't know. There's a possibility you've already gotten this round. I would recommend reloading your browser. The other thing is, if you're watching on a TV or a console, I've heard that the drops don't necessarily behave with those, unfortunately. I think I can fix it more than that. I know the drops are on because I have my own stream up on the side. It's easier to scroll backwards in Twitch chat that way for me, and so I know they're on because I've gotten them. But yeah, I've heard about some other people having trouble. So hopefully one of those debugs it for you. Second usually means I'm upset. Right. Which of the 6 Karinas are the easiest? Definitely Abyss at this point. Abyss is quite old. Just raging 24/7. I mean, her response to about 20% of things is, "Wow, you hate me." So, canonically, this is just true. Are you going to get around Jessica's Unstoppable? I am going to punish her specials. Yeah, I hope so, Dex. Fair question. That was Combo Party, wasn't it? I forgot about that. I didn't miss them once yesterday. I am just in rare form this Sunday. Have I gotten Invincible versus, or am I planning to? Probably, but I don't know. I haven't had a ton of time for the games I want to play, or that like I already want to play and have bought yet, and so I'm not really in a rush. Um, yeah, it looks interesting. I do want to play it at some point, but yeah, that's the short answer. I'm not really in a rush. Blame Honeydew for the "Oh, you hate me." I picked it up from her. Yeah, no, that's it's valid. Every time more plans went out. I don't know what Pragmata is. You are on PC? Yeah, then hopefully just a reload does it. Just realized the color of the stream is looking better. I hate to break it to you, Magnus. That might just be Stockholm Syndrome, because I haven't done anything to update the color grading. How can you tell that, Sus? That's funny. Yep, it doesn't work anymore when watching on the TV or streaming sticks. That's really unfortunate. Yeah, I don't know what causes that. Hopefully it's something that can be fixed. Hey, Easy, how's it going, man? Oops, I used my heavy too soon. Okay, well, maybe we can bait out a special 2. Cool. Should have saved for the special 2. Special 1 is really a waste in this fight. Ooh, and I throw the special too soon. Okay, well. Continuing the theme of me not being awesome today. Whoops! Yep, she wasn't. I didn't have the grit. I cannot. Why can't I think? Werewolf, Kushala, Serpent, or Yelena. I mean, can't really go wrong. Werewolf is probably the least in the meta right now, but he's still a really strong champion. Yeah, I mean, what does your roster need? Who do you enjoy playing, right? Do you need an attacker, a defender? Who's causing you problems on defense, etc.? I mean, let's be real, Mateus. Yes, Yelena and Serpent are very good attackers. We all know they're primarily defenders for the vast majority of players, the vast majority of the time. Probably will do Kushala. I don't think you're going to regret any of those 4. Whew. Okay. We don't talk about the MMT. I haven't gotten to play Strixhaven yet. I really want to. Jessica is that tanky. She has an attack reduction during specials because she throws weaknesses on you, but she also has very significant resistances, both energy and physical, and that's what destroys the cold snap. Plus what Maya said. Yeah, it's rough. Thanks, Nick. Take care, man. Welcome back, No Jazz. Single-handedly keeping my Google Translate open. Nah, I mean, If you're open to long fights, then I do think you're underrating Yelena. Because it takes a little bit for her to get going, but like she has the same tankiness she has on defense on offense. She had some of the best combo gain in the skill class. And then elimination mode is legitimately really good for damage, right? Plus it has automatic, basically untyped true focus. She's a good attacker. I'm trying to figure that out myself right now. I mean, it kind of depends on if they start getting combative, and why do I understand you, but you don't understand me is starting to get combative. Um, Believe it or not, there's not a ton of demand for learning the Cyrillic alphabet and Russian in the American South. Whereas, like, let's be real, English has been the lingua franca for a long time in much of the world. This isn't exactly a symmetrical relationship here. So, please don't be rude to Dilly. Yeah, the crits go a long way there. I almost didn't notice in time that she had staggered my true focus. Man, the timing on that's going to be tough, huh? But we got it up, we should be good now. That was my fault. Okay, we got it back. Thank you, Power Gain, for playing Sacrifice. Bro. Okay, this time we got the Power Gain instead of the True Focus. My bad. Oop, that's my fault. But we got the True Focus back, and I will wait out the damage reflection. And we all that, and we still didn't get the True Focus. Okay, this is getting annoying. It was going really well until I messed up the duration of her falter a couple times. Wow! that's fine. Whew! Okay. Back in the saddle. Alright, 1 second. What team did I take for Epic of Pain? This is Epic of Pain. If you mean the Heroes version, that was the previous stream before this. You can check that out. Or I guess you're on Twitch. They don't play back as well. You can check out my YouTube channel, but let's see, what was my team? I can answer that quickly. Blue Marvel, Captain Britain, Hulkling, Kushala, and Luke Cage. Please don't be combative. You know exactly why people don't understand you. I just went and double-checked this to make sure that we were on the same page. There are about 260 million Russian speakers globally, which is a lot of people. There are 1.5 billion English speakers in the world. They're not equivalent. Anywho. That should be enough buffs. Would you like to throw some specials, Nebula? Thank you. Man, the timing on his special one with the root is actually just really bad. It's probably exactly. I don't remember using him. Yeah, this has not been the most fun thing I've done today, work. Woof. Alright. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, absolutely, Jason. Okay. What I said earlier, I have no problem with people speaking in other languages if that's all that they can speak in. Like I said, don't be combative. I just decided to cut our losses there, but I wonder, kind of to Mateus's point, would he understand if I start speaking Spanish? Probablemente no. I think I'm going to decline to comment, Hills. Yeah. Not my policy. Not my area. For something like that, I am much more just another content creator than an employee, but also because I'm an employee, that's, yeah, don't really want to touch on it. Yeah, I'm not upset with you for asking. That's like on the line. I get it. But yeah, gonna dodge. Okay, Serpent should be fine here. Is it? How many of these do I have? It's just not telling me. Oh, right. Because this is still the build with the bug where if something doesn't have an inventory limit, it doesn't tell you how many you have of them. Grr. Okay. Mystic 2-3 upgrade, so Kushala, if I get a different Mystic, I'll do them. That's fair, yeah. Okay, this theoretically is easier than the last few fights I've done, but we'll see. Don't even care if that one's correct, I just need to get the focus up. Deal out this meme. I have been thinking about trying to get back on the Enchantress, see if I can give that one another shot on my side, because I do know that one can be tricky. I had someone ask the other day, changes I'd make on Blue Marvel, and like, I think it's too early to have strong opinions on that, because, you know, a lot of the people that do are jumping the gun. But I do think I could have made the intercept a bit better protected outside of the mode. I was thinking about that last night. Like, in hindsight, maybe it should have been punish or intercept with medium. Always gives crush against mystics, and then we could expand both of those to lights or heavies in the mode. I think that probably would have been the way to go. But we don't do regular patch updates because the player base gets a kind of way about it. Hey, Snoozy. You keep me away from Jambari. Fair enough. Welcome, block. Apologize if this question has been asked before. I haven't kept up with a lot of in-game stuff closely, but is Mysterium just a lesser currency now? Yeah, pretty much. Because the rewards that you used to buy with Mysterium are now in the side quest, and so the good stuff has pretty much just been given out. And so Mysterium is more for rounding out your roster, right? Which, I'll be blunt, like, it's not even rounding out my roster for me. What I do with Mysterium is I buy everything that can be traded in possible, and then go trade it in the Sigil store. And I fully understand that that is not a particularly exciting way to approach things. But we're not really getting less rewards because the Essentia store is right there, so... I was worried that was going to be too early. That was dumb. Yes, Void, please. Continue to keep critting on what feels like every single punish while you have a buff up. Okay, that one didn't. That one did. Ah, okay. I still rank 4 stars with it. Yeah, I mean, I probably would if I were just a little bit more patient. I'm a champion designer, Dex. Out of the 6 characters on screen right now, I designed 4 of them. Is the Hulkling relic good for Serpent and Hulkling because it adds extra pierce, or bad because of diminishing returns? The Hulkling relic is not good for Serpent because it doesn't do anything to help him with his damage, right? Because once the pierce cut through the opponent's armor, more doesn't really matter. Plus, Serpent actively chases the high armor with the special 2. But the Hulkling relic can be quite good for Hulkling because we did that compensation fix to him where now his armor pen increases his damage, right? So he's one of only 3 characters that gets that. So any extra armor pen for him is like almost a vigor. Welcome, Menace. No, we would like to hit your block. Thank you. Why did I do that? It was like the worst of both worlds. Okay, well, we're gonna take the degen. Now, if she just let me hit her block, that'd be great. Okay. Oh, that's gonna kill me. Yep. Ah, that was my fault. Should have just waited on the special one. I saw it happening. For offense, I quite like the Thor relic on Serpent. It was semi-made for him. It's quite good. On defense, I would just go for the most resistances you can find. Anything to slow down people, because the longer they're in the fight with Serpent, the less happy they're likely to be about it. No, ma'am. Okay. Here we Dang it, didn't mean to do that. Probably just gonna die. Yep, there it is. Hey, Jude. Welcome, Vital. Man, what jerk let her start the fight with her ramp on defense? Yep. She was not giving me any options there. It's like, all right, push me to special 2 as you're knocking me down. Or go red. It's going fine, Aiden. I'm not playing quite as well as I was yesterday, and also, the defenders are being particularly mean. Other than that, it's fine. No, you're fine, easy. I mean, the node here is definitely as much the threat as Photon, which is the point. What? Oh, yep, because the... Yep. I was thinking, oh, cool, I have a way to knock her down. Ah! Alright. My drops don't work, so I guess I already got them. Probably, if it's... You can check your inventory on Twitch, right? Back up, ma'am. Okay. Ah! I have just been forced into the degen so many times here. Why are her VFX messed up? I don't remember that ever happening before. Take care, easy. Have a good one. This is the villain run of the Epic of Pain prior, the Gauntlet, the one for the Karina's Challenge. Yeah, Onslaught works fine for Photon. Onslaught works for a whole lot of things. Pardon me. Whoops. Missed the striker button. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Okay, throw it. Throw it immediately. Nope, doesn't matter. Okay. Okay. Take a smooth one. All right. I need to remind myself that I am constantly selling these potions and they will fill up quickly. So going out of overflow is not a bad thing. Why did I... What did... I knew it was going to happen, and I still parried and just sat there like a moron anyway. Let me remind myself. Yep. Stupid. Stupid on me. I'm gonna die. It's okay, because we did damage. Okay, after that one, I'm not gonna bother healing anymore. Just need to wait for the first prompt and we'll be good. Oh, come on. Okay. I earned that recovery. No! I was hitting the special button! I think my iPad is starting to get tired, honestly. Definitely gonna hard reboot it after this stream. This looks like it would cost me every revive I have. You got time, Sans. Cool. Also, is it bad if it costs you every revive you have? What are they for? Neos. Oh my god, it accidentally turned on auto fight. I was like, what's going on? I am so annoyed. I was like, I threw the striker. Why is it not letting me heavy charge? It's because I accidentally hit auto fight. Okay, well, just yep. Weehoo! We've chatted about them a bit, Snoozy. Do you have a question in particular on them? I think the Heroes one is generally considered to be easier, Sans, and I think that's true even if you don't have Heimdall. So I'd probably recommend starting there. He turns on auto fight all the time. Good lord, I can't believe how much of this we have left. Alright, 1 second, let me boost. Should I have been boosting during literally any of that before? Absolutely. Were my war boosts doing anything? No. Sayla expletive V. As my teacher liked to say. Oh, Heimdall definitely makes things easier, but my Heroes run did not have Heimdall. It was still easier than this. It's gonna hurt. You do have Heimdall at rank 4? Yeah. I would try heroes first whenever you do go for it, right? You don't have to go straight into villains, but I think starting with heroes is the way to go. Kill, please. Thank you. Ah. I mean, feel free to ask Snoozy. There's a decent chance we didn't talk about it. We haven't been exhaustive necessarily. Welcome, Gladiator and MW. Nice, Snoozy. Okay, and the rhythm finally ran out. I was like, man, we are actually managing to change the reverse controls during our specials instead of as we're trying to bait hers every single time. And then, of course, it didn't happen. But it's been pretty good. Definitely makes it easy. Okay, that was my fault. Definitely not essential. Multiple people have done it in reasonable amounts of resources without him. But he is very good, yes. Welcome. Hey, thanks for raiding, Misty. Welcome, Abdo. Hope you're both doing well. He was my first 5-star. Dang. I'm assuming that either you're talking about somebody else or you're a little turned around, because if you have an ascended 7-star Serpent, we have to talk. But that's cool to hear. Ah, sorry to hear about the crashes. But progress is progress. Can you do Epic at rank 3? Yeah, that's what you got. You'll probably die more and take longer than if he was at rank 4, but he can do it. Oh, nice. Nice try, buddy. Throw your special, please. Thank you. Whoa, that's not very nice. Alright. Hit my block. Didn't realize that his heavy was gonna whiff that bad with the root. That's okay, we can heal. Would have been nice to have a heavy before that, but that's okay. Danny. Danny. Thank you. Oh, that was clean. Yeah, absolutely snoozy. Like, for those of you who haven't noticed yet, I'm sorry, because you probably won't be able to unsee it once you do. My screen is a little bit purple cast, because my old capture card bit the dust, and when I bought a new one and plugged it in, for some reason everything was really purple. And I'm not an expert at color correction. I've done what I can. I've got like some screens for filtering out colors. This was as close as I could get without further collateral damage, but I know it's not perfect. Anywho. Take care, Snoozy. Have a good one. Mr. Rand, I'd like to speak to your manager. I kind of like it. I've been getting more of that. Some things look better in it. I don't know. I'm getting used to it, which is maybe not a good thing. I need an unsee button. I'm sorry. Okay, that was nice and clean. 2 in a row. I know the second half of this is easier, but good lord, I needed that. Nice, Dilly. I'm glad. That does help. Yeah, I'm glad Air Server is working for some of y'all. If I wasn't renting, if we owned our place, then I would be putting Ethernet cables everywhere, and then I'd probably be down to use it. But, I mean, my internet's pretty good, right? Like hundreds of megabits per second, and Air Server was not doing it for me, unfortunately. I think Carl should be pretty good for this if I just play well. So far, so good. That's fine. Hit me, but throw your special. No! That's gonna kill me. Yep. I was literally hitting the special button as he threw it. You did well, my son. It was my fault. Who's next? Okay. Heimdall. Combo, 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 combo. How about a heavy? Jerk. Nice, gun. Good luck on the Titan opening. Don't know if you're able to answer this question, but do you know when absorbing wind will be available? Sorry. Correct. I am not able to answer that. I don't know, and if I did, I couldn't tell you. Realized I wasn't following Misty yet, then ended up here. Nice. Have a good one. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Makes me feel like I'm missing out. I went with Kingpin. I mean, I don't fault you for that. Kingpin's very good. But yeah, the choice was clear for me. It's nice to have him back again. I missed him. Alright. This one is worth healing for. Making sure I'm not forgetting something. Cool, cool. How dare you incinerate me? Man. Go ahead, Stoops. Am I able to give insight on whether Ghost Rider or Wave are in the next Titan? Um, I mean, I'm not able to confirm anything, but you can usually count pretty cleanly. And as a reminder, grace means ascension. Which, I understand everybody's looking at it differently, but the extra stats, the ISO burst, the challenge rating, pretty significant in my opinion. Alright. We're set up now. Pretty good for Spider Nonsense being up and reducing all damage by half. Nice. I hated when I finished Act 9 and like yeah, I know. You're right. In game design terms, what you're talking about is like the way that we would often say it is that you enjoy the celebration moment in quotes, which is like the hey, look at all this stuff you get for the cool thing you did, right? And you just want to be able to bask there for a moment. And you understand that selectors have to be chosen right away, but you just wish that they would chill for a few seconds so you could pat yourself on the back in peace. I I totally understand. I was hoping for bigger numbers, but I guess Viv's armor ups aren't that big. No. It's not childish. Like, there's kind of a line to walk there, right? Where, like, there can be complaints that are inconsequential, but, like, what you're describing is part of why you enjoy the game, right? It feels childish because, once we become adults, that kind of joy is something that we're not supposed to take as seriously, but it is a real part of life, arguably one of the most important parts of life. And it is core to game design, right? Like, we are here to create joy. And if you're still here, you've probably been frustrated at the game, but you're enjoying yourself enough to still be here, right? And that is what we're chasing. So if there is something that is getting in the way of the joy without a good reason, and that's a very important qualifier, and that is an incredibly valid critique. Because sometimes things are supposed to get in the way of the joy, right? I've said this before. We've got a lot of people here who probably haven't heard me say it, so I'll say it again. Like, game design is fundamentally the art of managing tension, right? You want there to be enough tension that people feel like they're accomplishing something, but not so much tension that it makes them leave. Um, and where that tension is different for different people. It's different across different game modes. Like, this, it's a large task in a game this size. But if you're not making money or constructively building tension with something, it should probably just be plain fun, right? Like, those are kind of the two big categories of valid reasons to get in the way of joy. I don't know, Chronix. I haven't been seeing a problem with the stores. Fuck, Stormgrotto. Whatever happened to the Choice Champion? Colossus Age of Apocalypse won, but they have never been out or really talked about this early before. Yeah, Pincer's correct. Fate Seal does like Fate Seal. Sorry, how do I say this? If you read the description of Damnation, at least as far as I remember, it should say that the champion the Damnation is applied to is passively Fate Sealed, Heal Blocked, and Power Locked, right? And there's two clues in there. One is the word passively, telling you that it is a passive, which is subject to immunities. And two is the actual names of the types: Fate Sealed, Heal Block, Power Lock, right? That's different than, like, Warlocks cannot heal or cannot recover health, because that is not considered a heal block. That would also be different than, like, cannot gain power, which would not be considered a power lock. Though that sounds pedantic, but that is how we try and impose logic on the words describing our game. Hey, Vader, how's it going, man? It's like being hooked on drugs. I mean, if you want to be really cynical about it, but your brain functions on dopamine, man, bear, pig. Drugs access dopamine, but so does, like, everything else, right? I believe Paviter was in the Titan later because he was released in December. No, Paviter like was available in November. I had him in November. And he was considered a November champion. Cassie was not a November champion. Cassie just replaced him in the Titan because it didn't make sense to give somebody out in the Battle Pass and then immediately put them in the Titan. Which I can't confirm anything, but I'll leave that hanging. Again, I can't confirm anything. That's where I'm at. Is about. Wait. As someone who has spent a fair bit on the game, I certainly don't feel like I can pick whoever I want. If you're not having fun, then yeah, do other things. That's totally valid. I don't really see exactly where you're coming from there, but like, we don't have to convince each other. If you're not having fun, do something else. There's a lot of great games on PS5. If you haven't played Ghost of Yotei or Dispatch, check those out. And then if you feel like coming back, come back. Yeah, idols were never going into the Titan. Yeah, I get you, Scoops. As much as I'd like Ghost Rider Ascended, I'll just wait for the Titan. Fair enough. I've made that call on some champions. Okay. Who did I die to? Oh, right. I messed up the Heimdall fight, which was going so beautifully until the last 3%. Rip me. I remember, I think Pork Grind won. You remember incorrectly. Sauron or Sunspot? The meta answer would be neither, but you're asking, so I'm going to take it in completely good faith. Sunspot's a pretty darn good nuke at rank 5. If you're good with him, he can do a lot of really silly stuff. I don't think Sauron is as powerful, but he has some cool abilities. The ability to gain prowess and to block is nice. He's got some healing. He has some defensive value. Statcasts do help Sauron a lot. I think I'd personally go Sunspot out of the two, but I understand what you're asking. How much does it cost on average to get a new champion ascended? I mean, it depends on how you do the math exactly, but the pity timer is 120 crystals, right? And so if you aren't lucky, right? If we assume you never get the drop, and mathematically you shouldn't make that assumption, so technically we're not being completely fair here, but let's, for simplicity, assume that it takes 120 crystals to pull somebody. That 120 crystals, if you get it all with units, right, is going to cost 36,000 units, which is a lot. But if you're asking in terms of cost, when champions first come out, you can usually get, I think it's completely unlimited on the web store at the rate of 6 crystals for $50. There's the 4 bundles of 12 for 100, and then the unlimited 6 for 50. And so if you divide the 120 by 6 and then multiply that by 50, then instead of the higher price, it comes down to... Yeah, I guess it comes down to... Yeah, I guess it comes down to 1,000. Because I'm thinking, like, I did not spend 1,000 for any of the characters that I just hard pulled, but I think that's because I had a fair amount of units saved up. So yeah, if you're going from 0 units, all money, that's bucks. Do you want to try being polite there, Verify? I'm considering that a warning. I don't know who that was aimed at, but, like, don't do that. If you're stuck on 736 and you would like help from the chat, then let us know what you're getting stuck on, right? What's the path that's causing you problems? Is it a boss? Remind us of nodes, right? There's a lot of smart people in chat. We're willing to help. But for many of us, we haven't played that content in years. We do not have it memorized. I mean, I want to rank up a champion that I love. Yeah, no, I figured that was where you were coming from. Skill, Mole Man, or Elsa. Nice. Yeah, I personally would do Sunspot. I have always found certain aspects of Sauron's kit annoying, even though I do know that he is objectively pretty solid. And I enjoy the parry gameplay that Sunspot has a bit more, but whichever one you enjoy more. Need to play both of the Ghost games. Yeah, I never did play Tsushima. I would like to at some point, but Yote was excellent. I always get my Zenith champs at like 112. That's funny. No problem, Delfino. What's the story behind my nickname? Marching band. I'm tall. I used to be very lanky. I was called Daddy Longlegs in marching band. And then people started abbreviating that to just the first word in the compound word, and that got kind of weird, so DLL it is. Alright. This should be pretty clean. Let's see if I can play well. What? Oh, right. I need to not be immune to armor break. I forgot that node was in there, which is just going to make that not work very well. Okay, Mojo it is. Yeah. It's not very nice, Gambiara. It's not very nice. Thought process behind the new pre-battle UI screen. I mean, in fairness, I'm not a UI designer. But the old one was mostly text without a lot of clear divisions. We were used to it, but for somebody who's never played this game before, I don't think it was super clear. So the goal of the new one, I think, is to look more modern and to try and make the information cleaner. I think it does some of that well. I definitely still have some quibbles. I don't think tags should be above the ability strings here. I think rank needs to be on this screen, and I think that when you go over to, like, I'm fine with the overview being small and in the middle here, right? I think that makes sense. But I think when you click on the attacker, defender, and node screens, it should expand and cover the characters, because it's still not fully opaque, right? You know who you're fighting. But I think it should expand and cover the characters, because this text, while I like how large it is a little squished. Which was the answer to your question and then also a critique. So I don't know if that's what you were looking for. Something tells me this fight isn't going to work. The Thanos one, or was that late? Five was Jane Foster. Your brother took your phone and ranked her. Well, I hope you like Jane, because she is really good now. Yeah, Mojo is incredible. Highly recommend him. Yeah. My fault, Stalin Grotto. I forgot about that node. Yeah, I've only played Yote Avengers, but it's such a good game. When I went to the game design conference in San Francisco, a lot of the talks I went to were by the Ghost of Yote team, and yeah, they were really cool. It was great getting to pick their brains. How do we decide class distribution for new champs? Um, it's somewhat complicated. There is a team that picks the like standard new release champions, right? Which is the two every month plus one in December, and lays those out, right? And we try to keep those pretty even within a quarter and over the course of the year in terms of class distribution. The complicating factor is that when we do things like idols or the Stellar Forged, or when we rework somebody and then release them, like all of those things, or when we do a Summoner's Choice vote, all of those things have extra conditions and complexities attached to them. Like going back for the idols, right? There wasn't a science or a mutant one. We could have eventually probably justified one if we had kept the lore going, but they were the ones that made less sense, right? How does an idol have an XG? Um, and so like that affects class distribution, right? When we're reworking people, like not all rework candidates are created equal. We have limited cap. It's basically like we start with something that's pretty balanced, and then the needs and constraints of multiple teams take it from there, and that's why it ends up not perfect, if that makes sense. Now, I think you're a little wrong there, Avengers. Mojo on offense is really strong. I hate her. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I like Jane's rework. I think it's quite good. I will say, if you're having trouble with her and you feel like her special 2 isn't doing enough, use the special 3 more. Oh, wait, I'm not doing the thing right. Okay. Stop. My bad. I shouldn't have heavy canceled there. Wasn't helping me. Alright. Okay. That wasn't too bad for me completely misplaying the first 3 specials of the fight. Yeah, that makes sense, Jonathan. I think a lot of our UI work is done on like phone first, because I tend to find bugs on the iPad. The thing is with Jane's short shocks is that like if they were longer, that wouldn't make her better at killing, right? Because they were tuned where they were wanted. But like the design of her kit was actually supposed to be more special 3 heavy. And you were only supposed to use the special 2 when you were sure it would kill. The designer wanted you to go special 3 and crit. The reason the shocks are short is not to do less damage, but to concentrate the damage. So that when it is your kill shot, you don't have to go, please, please, please don't hurt me, please don't hurt me. Okay, finally they're dead. It's just, okay, if that kills, it kills. And then they came in crystals. The idols were always planned to go into the basic eventually. That was clear. We just said that we weren't going to tell you ahead of time, like, exactly when they were going into the basic. There a sense of pride within the team? Yeah, I would say so. Like, it's a... Because it is such an old game and that brings a lot of challenges, like, it's tricky. Um, but I do think we're quite proud of our work. I am, at least. Yeah, you can tell us your hero team and we'll look at it. I think it's a little early for teases on the next champ, Pincer. And my brother's Civil Warrior? Jeez. I would much rather have a Jane than a Civil Warrior. So I feel for your brother right now. Yeah, Scorpion's very good. Okay. Let's show off Mojo's degen, shall we? I can't believe I didn't ramp more than this. I was really planning on using him more. Oh, that was dumb. No, 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 no. No! I was hitting the striker. That's my fault. Okay, well, glad we didn't die. Time to show off Mojo's regen, which was totally what my goal was. We could definitely be getting better hater luck. Yeah, that's not the button I hit. Alright. There we go. Yeah, Mojo's great, Jonathan. But Work's point, Pincer, is that healing mixed with immunities and power control doesn't make the community at large respect other champions for Battlegrounds. So why Scorpion? Oh, I forgot she stops true focus. That's fine. Oh, right, because she didn't stop true focus when she came out. That's why I was confused. This was added to the node later, I think. That's okay. Also, it's very weird that her combo count is hidden. You can see it, but it's like transparent. Half the people don't heavy special intercept with Scorpion. That's because you shouldn't. In battleground size health pools, it is almost actively a mistake to do Scorpion's heavy charge. Medium special 2 is almost always more damage. Sentry, Sunspot, Stolosawa, Chavez, and hey, Waging. It's going pretty well. One more than Ares. It's tough for me to evaluate off rip, I'm not gonna lie. Like, those are good champions, but I think the biggest thing that you're missing is that list of 5 doesn't really have good evade or miss counters. And there's a lot of evade and miss in here. Right? That's why Heimdall is good. That's why Serpent is good. That's why Thanos is good. It's why Blue Marvel was so good for me in the Heroes run. Yeah, I think you're going to want to solve that. If you have a rank 4 Heimdall, you should probably be bringing a rank 4 Heimdall. I do think you're off a little bit, Work. I think the number of people who only care about Battlegrounds is overblown. I agree with you that a lot of the loudest players seem to think that only Battlegrounds matters, and that is where I am with Work, that, like, Work is not saying Scorpion is overrated overall or underrated. His point is simply that there is a very loud contingent of players that says if a champion cannot reliably get like 45-second kills on a large percentage of defenders, that they are not worth using. And by their own standards, those people should probably not be as big a fan of Scorpion as they are. Oops. Whoops. Get off me. Hey, Hogan, how's it going, man? Run's going pretty well. This fight is basically exactly what I was hoping for. Any suggestions for taking Gauntlet Doom? I'm assuming Doom with Warlock. Or no, that Doom. Okay, I feel like I was led to believe this is supposed to be going much better than it is right now. Yeah, I can see that one being tricky. Crit resist means Warlock's high crit damage doesn't help. You have no armor breaks. You're basically doing it all with bleeds. That does not sound fun. I'm not sure I have any tips for you, unfortunately. Solar revive ratio for this run? I have no idea. Worse than I'd like it to be, but I don't track that. Because I feel like for a few years now, I haven't needed to use units for content. Like, I use revives, but I don't care, because by the time the next thing comes out, without doing any farming, I have stuff in overflow again. And so, like, I'm shrugging right now. I know I don't use a face cam, but yeah, it doesn't bother me. I don't know. If I had to do a quick estimate, I'm probably somewhere in between 15 and 20 revives overall. Do I like the Scorpion design? I think what Scorpion was going for is really cool, right? Like, I think the heavy charge into special cancel thing is really neat. I think the pseudo power stings are really neat. I think the ideas in the special 1 and the special 2 are all really cool, right? I think there's a lot of good stuff in Scorpion's kit. I do think that he is not quite put together correctly, and I don't mean that in just a numbers sense, right? I don't want this to read as a shot at the balance team, but I think the economy isn't quite right. Some of the numbers are probably a little off too, but it shouldn't be as good as it is to medium special 2 with him. In my opinion, if you build somebody like that, you should need to do the heavy charge thing, and they shouldn't feel very good if you don't. I also personally think that him having 3 different pre-fights was a bit of a mistake. And he didn't need both. He didn't need energy direct and physical. 2 of the 3 would have been plenty good. That's cool. I've heard a few people using High Evolutionary and had it go well. Maybe I should have done that instead of Void. Nah, that's fine. Void did well. Why is it difficult to bait specials with the bigger champions size-wise? So, it's a good question. It's easier than it used to be. But what we found when I was investigating it, because I remember taking that to the gameplay engineers and being like, it is definitely harder to bait specials with large champions. And I'm sure it's not there's nothing in the code saying, if opponent is XL, throw specials less. So let's look into this. This was a few years ago. We put the change that we ultimately made in the patch notes. But going over the process, we were looking through the AI, and we found that there is a hard-coded distance beyond which the AI will just not normally throw specials. And that is a good thing. It makes sense that it's there, because otherwise it would probably throw specials as you're trying to hit its block a lot, right? Or it would just throw melee specials that had no hope of landing. That wouldn't feel right. However, and real quick, a lot of characters who can throw full screen specials, like Iron Man Special 1, his old Special 1, let's say Iron Patriot now, have overrides in there that basically tell the AI, hey, this character can connect at a long distance, fire it whenever. But for everyone who doesn't, there was that distance. And unfortunately, way back early on in the game, one of the first XL characters was OG Abomination. and the the distance he traveled in his dodge animation was greater than that minimum distance. So whenever he dodged, he was by default outside of the range that the AI thought it was appropriate to throw a special at. And his dodge distance was longer because he was wider. It made sense for a lot of other animations, but it wasn't taken into account in that part of the AI code. And so what we did was and then the important part is that his dodge animation served as the basis for a bunch of future dodge animations for XL characters. They were kind of cloned from him and then went from there. So you ended up with this whole class of characters that were just worse at baiting specials through no fault of their own and through no intentional design. And so what we did was we increased the default distance. But for all the reasons I said in the first place as to why it's a good thing that that distance is there, we didn't increase it too far. So it is much, much closer to normal with XL champions now, but there is still a small difference. And so that's what you're picking up on. Be nice, Magnus. Least favorite champ in the game, design-wise, could be the most problematic, or just dislike the design. I don't want to take too many shots here. I mean, I think I'll just go with the easy answer, which is Quake. Like, it's a cool idea that nobody put limiters on. Right? Because if you have a cool idea for a moment of like, hey, what if I charge heavy and then I evade? Wouldn't that be neat? And even if you want to turn that moment into like a period of time where you're like, what if I stretch this out into like several moments in a row that just makes me feel really cool? That still should have a limit on it, right? Because fundamentally, this is like a two-player game, and everything you do should basically allow your opponent to play the game, right? If any of you have played Magic the Gathering, it's why, like, free counter spells are so contentious, right? You shouldn't, unless it's under very specific circumstances, be able to just turn off your opponent's ability to play the game for free. And that's basically what Quake does, right? Like, just to use one example, if Quake could do what she does just after a special attack, so she could do it for a short amount of time, and then she had to play the game and hit the opponent and actually participate and try and gain power fast enough that her concussion didn't fall off or something, and then go back to it, she'd be a lot more okay. But, like, the problem with her is that the opponent just doesn't get to play unless they have an ability that specifically says Quake can sit in timeout. I'm trying not to curse. But hopefully that makes sense. At least it's at Doom that you're reassessing? Absolutely. No, I'm glad you're asking now, Snoops. 4 solos in Epic? Heck yeah. No, I like High Evolutionary a lot. Is that why it's so easy to bait Ultron Special 1? Because, yeah, I'm pretty sure he has an override. He will throw it from wherever. Killmonger is another one where his specials have very long overrides. So he will YOLO it across the map. So slow. I understand it's for learning purposes, but I really hate the beginning there. Nice, Snoops. Yeah, he sounds cool there. I am trying to punish, sir. Me too, work. Me too. Much prefer the fast ones later. Why did I do that? Right as it expired. Oh, that's stupid. Whoops. I guess I was slow on that dex. And that one. Not cool, bro. That was my fault. Sir, do you mind? Thank you. Hey, Phil, how's it going? Mojo did do well. He was mostly there for the Aegon, but he put in work. Mimic loves his slow-mos. Why did I do that? Yeah, that was my fault. Ran right into the snap light. You're gonna have to be a lot more specific, small again. What exactly is it that you think is bugged? Is this an itemless run? No. I don't hate myself nearly that much. Sorry. I don't want to imply that anyone who does one does hate themselves, but I would hate myself by the end of one. I am not that good, and I have nothing to prove. What about Ghost then? See, in my opinion, the problem with Ghost is entirely that the Furies in her Sig stack. Because that makes a tech champion far and away the strongest answer to any hazard shift fight that doesn't explicitly block her out. I think that is a huge problem, right? But if her Furies had a stack of one or two, I wouldn't have any problems with Ghost. Because what Ghost does is very powerful, but what Ghost does is infinitely more healthy than what Quake does, because Ghost has to hit the opponent. Ghost gets a phase, gets a free opening, and then she has to make contact. She has to play the game. She has a power advantage, she has very good openings, but she has to participate. And that's fundamentally different. I'm new to this game, but why don't they let the players directly fight against each other? I thought this was a fighting game. Well, welcome. There's kind of two answers there. The first is that when this game came out, it just wasn't considered worth it to try and get synchronous gameplay working with the technology at the time. Like, this game is almost 12 years old now. It was tough back then. I won't say it was impossible because, like, yeah, Injustice did it on mobile, but we're still here and they're kind of not. The consequence of that downstream, this isn't my second point yet, but the consequence of this downstream is that the game was built in a way that doesn't really make it work, or that wouldn't really let it work if we tried to add synchronous combat in now. Because there are just things built into it to reflect the, like, player on the left, defender on the right. Like, if the two characters both enter a medium animation on exactly the same frame, the player always wins, right? There's just a number of things like that built into the game that would make it fundamentally unfair if it was two players. But then my second larger point is that it is a fighting game asterisk. This is something I say to a lot of people. This is not really a fighting game to anyone that plays fighting games, right? It's not Mortal Kombat, it's not Soul Calibur, it's not Guilty Gear. It has some similarities to those games, but it also has a lot of similarities to card games or RPG games like Magic the Gathering, right? One of the senior designers on this game has a joke he likes to make, which is that when Kabam got together and made Marvel Contest of Champions, they couldn't decide if they wanted to make Mortal Kombat or if they wanted to make Magic the Gathering. And so they compromised, and this is what we got. And there's kind of a sub-joke there, which is that the longer the game has been running, the more the Magic the Gathering people are winning. Because there's a lot of mechanics interacting with each other, and the classes have a relation or have relationships with each other similar to, like, the colors in card games, if that makes sense. So it's just it is a fighting game, kind of the same way that it is kind of an RPG game or an action game, but it's kind of this weird thing in between all of the others. I don't think Mike ever intended to hint that Ares was going to be playable. It's more just that because of the way his system works, we could create another version of Ares with different special animations and bring him back as a relatively fresh boss that way. That will certainly happen at some point. As far as a playable Ares, maybe, but I think it would be a fair amount of work. Yeah, I totally understand the confusion. And I will admit, when I first started playing this game in 2015, woof, um, I did think that I was fighting people for real in arena for the first little bit. Ares doesn't have special damage? No, he does. Special attack modifiers cannot be... Oh, his cannot be reduced. No, but also the opponent's cannot be increased. So the thing about Ares is that he's not really capping damage at any point. It's more that he is just locking your attributes and his to where they are at the start of the fight. And as people know, that is currently bugged, which is pretty sure we've said this. Yeah, we put it out. But like that's currently bugged, which is why Heimdall is so much stronger than he should be. That bug also benefits Serpent because his dread ability at the start of the fight does increase his attack before Ares caps it. That is not intended. That was not supposed to be how the fight was built because it's supposed to be an even playing field. But yeah, for now, he's definitely better, and it helps. If we ever make Quake a 7-star, I'm pretty sure at this point that's only going to happen with a significant rework of the character. And I am sorry for the nostalgia hit that will almost certainly have for you. I know a lot of people completed a lot of content with Quake, but she's just not healthy for the game. Yes, I think making Superior Kang playable would be equally as difficult because there's cool ideas in there, but there are almost no mechanics that we could ship on a playable character, right? And so turning those ideas into a playable kit is almost harder than just building a character from scratch because you're almost building a character from scratch, but you have all of this baggage that you have to navigate with expectations. It's why rebuilds like the Ghost Rider rebuild are so difficult because it's like, all right, start over, but also you have to do all of these things on this list. Yes, the part of the team that does boss fight designs is the same team that makes champions, correct. My fight menu looks like this because I work for the company, and so employees and contractors technically got access to this a month early so that we could give some earlier feedback. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured you were talking about, Small again. That's not a bug because art. Yeah, the short answer is it's not a bug. Because that's been the way he's worked for years. And the team's communicated stance has been that. Hold on, I'm pulling up his info page. Check this before I speak. Yeah, it says it cannot be decreased by his opponent's abilities. The community or the team stance has been that like the effects of his opponent's abilities are fair game, which is what Disorient is. Because Disorient isn't concussion, where all it does is reduce ability accuracy. Disorient has a right. You are more than welcome to not like that, say it doesn't make sense. That's why it is that way. Are you talking about Ares' work? No, I still don't agree with you if so. This is pretty clearly bugged. Like, we made it more clear, but the intention of Ares was always to take it at the start of the fight and just even it out. He was explicitly built to block out furies, to block out cruelties, to block out all of these things. Like, it's... Yeah. The only reason he didn't was because the implementation got messed up. And that is literally what a bug is, right? If you, like, it's... I can't really explain why without getting into the code. But if you looked at how he was coded, it was very clearly supposed to work a particular way, and there was just a mistake in it that allowed those things through. And I just don't agree with you there. I do think that's how he's written. It says starting values. It doesn't say the value, like, after the effects resolve on start. Right? It says starting values. I think that's consistent with the intention. We're changing the string to be even more explicit, but I don't think there's a mismatch there. Yeah, I don't think anybody said that Ghost Rider was being held back, Prospect. Why rework him? Because he was old. The kit was dated. He needed time. Yeah, in my opinion, and I want to make sure that that's coming from me, not necessarily speaking for the team, Kate's issue is pretty much entirely how strong the cold snap is without ramp. CGR's is related because he does too much damage, but he also does too much damage with easy access to Fate Seal, or to Damnation, which is, as we talked about earlier, Fate Seal, Heal Block, and Power Lock. And that's an absurd amount of utility to put on someone who has that much damage that fast. Is Ares new? Not really. This version of Ares has been in the game for a while. If that's in response to the bug thing, we didn't know about it before. Heimdall starts the fight with those values. Not really. Like, I know what you mean, but he doesn't. He gains those values when the fight screen says start. But he doesn't run in with them. Honestly, Small again, we're gonna stop with the Archangel discussion. There's a cleanup test somewhere about ability accuracy stuff because the team kind of handled it like the Wild West for a while, and so it just needs to be cleaned up. So I'm just gonna tell you that is, haha, a work in progress. Sorry, work, it's not for you. But like, I am not going to argue with you about every single thing. The reason that it feels like it doesn't make perfect sense to you is because it doesn't. It's not perfectly consistent. No, none taken, Pincer. Like, I love the design of Kate. I'm still very proud of her, but she's overtuned. Not going to be offended by that. Are there any restrictions for me when playing the game since I also work for the company? What do you mean by that? Like, I play war at a high level. Clearly not restricted there. I guess technically yes. I wasn't eligible to qualify for Battle Realm Brawl. I don't think I would have had the time, even if I did have the skill to do it, but wasn't eligible. Right, but like semantics is based on what words mean, right? Yeah, I mean, without showing y'all the literal code, we can only do so much to be clear. I don't know. You're allowed to not like the explanation, but it was both the implementation and the intent, and I think consistent enough with the wording that like there wasn't any other way for it to go. Well, that's interesting. You can't see your crossfights if there's not other nodes on the boss. I didn't realize that. Buddy, thank you. Dang it, Dilly. No, that's not your fault I messed up. No. No, 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 no. Literally never. I'd love to delete that button. Whoops. I didn't even look at the active aggression. I definitely just dexed there. That doesn't work. Hey, Darkness, how's it going? Hmm. No! Okay. Why did I think it only had... Yeah, okay. I'm starting to lose focus, which, of course, it's dinner time, but... Hmm. Nope, it was dumb. I don't even know what I was thinking there. Oh, yeah, it was just slow. Take care, Misty. I'm not going to speak for the whole team, Pincer. Okay. He sped up more than I thought. No. He responded faster than I could get out of the way from my own heavy. Uh... Nope. Mistake. I applaud you for your attention to detail, Small again. But I think I'm a little too tired to like have QA discussions, if that makes sense. Because clearly you're asking because there's something that you found that isn't right, and that's fine. But yeah, I'm gonna opt out today. Buddy. That is probably the rudest intercept AI I've seen in a long time. Yeah, that's not an opinion thing. There is no difference in RNG if you spend. That is not a thing. And that's not an opinion, that's just not a thing. Come on, buddy. Nope. My nail got stuck. Alright. Oh, at least it's easy from here. Yeah, I don't know who taught him those dance moves, Jonathan, but... Alright, cool. Yeah, we can chat another time. I'm not trying to tell you to buzz off. Yeah, Doom is definitely a weird one. Like, yes, he doesn't directly answer modern cosmics, but it's not just his crit resist. It's his crit resist supporting his armor, which is further supported by an immunity to armor break, which is further supported by his power control. He's just absurdly hard to kill. And he comes very close to not letting the opponent play the game because of the whole Doom cycle thing. He's dangerous. What do we get for the fourth hour drop? I don't know. I have to check my inventory. Thanks. Okay. Here's the good stuff. There's two good things. But I'm looking for something else. Maybe we can open this first. Cool. Yay. Alright. What are we gonna get? Thanks for the compliment. Any gem in mind you want? I would prefer not to double up on one of the classes I already have, which is Science, Mystic, and Tech. But I have options in all of them, so it is what it is. Yep. This is my shocked face. I've been playing this game long enough. And there's your answer on RNG for people who spend, right? I have definitely spent enough that if that was a thing, it shouldn't happen to me. Oh well. Yes, I'm already Elder. That's why I went ahead and took up Absorbing Man, despite it risking me having two Mystics. Alright, let's open these. Okay, well that's a second pull of Reed, so it doesn't do anything for me now. If I pull him again, sure, I'll take him to A2, but kind of a miss. Definitely would have preferred the Mojo or the Zemo on either side of him. Same thing. Although, it would have been true for Sasquatch and Emma as well. All three of those I already had ascended. So, like, I don't know. I'll probably be happy about this in the future. Sam is the character I took up for my first Tech rank 5. So if I now pull Sam a third time and he's rank 5A2, I'll be very happy about that. But, yeah, that was... In terms of helping me today, that was 2 duds. Even though I very much like both of those champions. Okay, nothing calling my name right now. Okay, so these are the options. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do what I said I was gonna do, which is take up Shocker. Because I'm already placing him on defense, right? So that's helpful for War, because I'm not placing any other rank 5s. There are a lot of good techs in here, but yeah. I love Shocker. He was one of my first rank 4s. Fantastic champion. Yeah, I think this makes sense. You're placing Shocker? Well, I think I'll probably be placing Shocker in a minute again. That's okay. We'll look over defense. I'm not concerned either way. I guess the other defensive pick would have been Arcade, which would have been cool, but yeah. I like Shocker. Okay, now what am I going to do with these catalysts? I think I'm going to avoid double ups, which means no science, no tech, no mystic, so one of these. A lot of good options, a lot of my kids. But there's one I've been using a lot. So I think I'm going to do this. Hey, Dread, thanks for subscribing. I appreciate that. I definitely was considering Gentle. I took a boss with him this morning. But yeah, I think Patriot gets the nod. I've been using him in War a lot. And the challenge rating from Ascension combined with the stats from rank 5, it's going to be good. I'm just saying that because it reduces my chances of getting a signed Jabari. No, I get you, man. All right. Well, those are my 5. Yeah, I don't think I can take up any relics right now. Cool, how's the prestige? Did we break 38 finally? We did. Alright, cool. 38-3. I'm happy with these. It's gonna be a while before I can take up another one, but that's okay. I guess that's the other reason to take up Shocker, is that we're about to get some items for ascendable champions. Which maybe would have been an argument to put those catalysts towards somebody who wasn't ascendable, like Thanos or Jean, but that's okay. We got time. I always tell people it's not your last rank up, it's just your next rank up. And yeah, I don't think I'm going to have any regrets over that. Yeah, Dark Phoenix is great on attack. Good shout. Okay. Who is live? Alright, well, I think I've rated Dooley in a bit. He says he's becoming Elder today and wants help picking champs. So we're going to head over there. Y'all can help him out. As we have 700 people to offer advice. Alright, thank you everybody very much for hanging out and for the discussion. This was a good stream. Oh, Dooley's about done? Okay, if Dooley's about done, then I will cancel. Thank you for that heads up. I appreciate that. Thanks for answering some questions and vaguely hinting at others. No problem. Okay, I'm gonna send y'all over to Controller Gamer then. Says he's grinding to try and get into the CCP. So that makes sense. As long as my internet behaves. I don't know what's going on right now. I think canceling the raid made it angry. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and end the YouTube stream. Thank y'all for hanging out, and we'll figure out how to get the Twitch people a little bit more. Yeah, take care, YouTube peeps. This channel has been suspended. Okay, well, alright, not that one.